So about 3 years into my YouTube existence, with this channel, I did a review on the 1988 cult classic 80s, teen film, B film, whatever you want to call it, called The Invisible Kid, starring Jay Underwood and Chynna Phillips of, Wilson Phillips fame. And, I gave my thoughts on it, and I uploaded those reviews recently onto Rumble so that other people can watch it in case they don't go to YouTube and everything because of because of some of the constant changes at times that YouTube is going through. But anyway, I did the review and I figured, it got me thinking, why not just do a little bit of an updated review on it as well? Because of course I did an up conversion of that review, courtesy of online-convert.com a couple of years ago. And then I did a movie of the month video on it back in 2021. So what is The Invisible Kid anyway? The 1988 film, which again you can find, on YouTube and other outlets as well. What is it in particular? Well, basically it's a story about a boy, played by Jay Underwood in high school, who finds and discovers his late father's formula for invisibility. So he tries it out, and it causes him to go invisible, and then he shares it with his friend, and then, they get into a lot of hijinks and stuff. His mother is a very, I guess you could say, I don't know how you would describe her, very, I guess you could say Alex Jones-like kind of mother, where she, will listen to, talk show therapists or whatever and take their advice and call in and stuff like that. Well, and she's played by Karen Black, by the way. Well, basically, like I said, they get into all kinds of hijinks and mischief, around the school, around other areas, going into the girls' locker room, shower room, stuff like that. And by the way, this movie was rated PG, and this was at a time, even in the late 80s, where you could still get away with certain things when it came to PG. You can be a little bit more risky, more line crossing than what you can be nowadays. But anyway, to get back on point, they would go and have all this kind of mischievous fun, if you will. And again, the mom, she's kind of very paranoid, very Alex Jones-like, listens to the therapist and everything, and takes her advice. And she becomes very snoopy at times. So Jay, who plays, like I said, the main character who discovers his dad's formula, which is her late husband, he has to sometimes hide the formula. He has to hide what he's doing so that she doesn't get on him or anything like that. And the way Chynna Phillips comes in is she's a girl that attends the same high school as Jay's character does, but she's also the girl next door. So what happens after a little bit of a mishap with Jay's friend and her, because Jay's friend becomes addicted to it, he loves it. He loves the enjoyment of sneaking around and everything, and it basically catches up to him. But what happens is that, she starts to get suspicious, like how did he suddenly get in my room? Jay's friend. So what happens is that Karen Black's character, the mother, if you will, of Jay's character, goes to his room and he has to quickly hide the formula. He has the formula in a bag. So he basically tosses it out a window and it lands right in a bird bath next door to where Chynna Phillips' character lives. And then what she does is she sees it and she brings it back. She sees what basically got dropped into the bird bath. She retrieves it, looks at it, and starts, I guess you could say, putting two and two together. Like, wait a minute, this looks like the same. Because I think what the friend did is the friend dropped some stuff, or some of the stuff, when he got caught, when the formula were off on him in Chynna Phillips' house. So he got caught, if you will. Or I think it was her house or it was somewhere. Anyway, she looks at this, and again, she starts putting two and two together. She brings it back to Jay's character. They talk things over. He explains what it is. She's still a little suspicious, but again, she's putting all the pieces together. And then she kind of coaxes him a little bit, kind of flirts him, sweet talks him into letting her try it. And he says he'll let her do it, but she's got to keep it a secret. And basically this leads to her trying it, turning invisible, except for her yellow dress. And that's where we get probably what many would consider the most memorable scene in the movie, whether you liked it or you didn't. But it's one of the more memorable scenes that people still talk about today, and that is Chynna Phillips' character being invisible and doing a striptease for Jay's character. And she does the striptease after she kind of reveals that, oh, that's why you and so were running around naked in high school, or naked in school and everything. And again, Jay's character is surprised by that, and he's like, "What, you know that?" And she's like, "Of course, everybody knows that. It's basically what everybody's been talking about at school." And then all of a sudden, she does the striptease, and she does it by doing the da da da, like she does the da 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 da, kind of song and everything. And she strips all the way down to where her yellow dress pulls onto the ground, like a, P-O-O-L, P-O-O-L-S, pulls, down to the floor, and then all you see is her underwear and everything. And then she basically tosses her dress aside, and then all of a sudden she strips down out of her underwear. And then as she does that, she asks him, "When was your first time?" And she giggles as she tosses the underwear behind her. So yeah, that is probably the most memorable scene, I think, from the movie, whether you liked it or not, or you were just watching it out of curiosity and all of a sudden that scene was the scene that popped up. But yeah, basically that was one of the more iconic scenes in the movie. And I think, again, whether you liked it or not, you felt it was too cheesy, too stupid, if you will, and everything. That's one scene, I will tell you, was probably the one scene that you're always going to take with you when somebody tells you about, somebody asks you if you know what Invisible Kid is. That's the one scene that will stick, that's always going to stick with you, and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I know what you're talking about, because suddenly that will, flash in your mind. But overall, the film is a fun film. It is a fun, quirky, cheesy 80s, sci-fi teen comedy romp. And again, like I said, it pushed boundaries for PG. It really did. I mean, you had the girls' shower room scene where actually they showed nudity, girls naked and everything. So it definitely pushed the bounds. Now, it wasn't, distributed by like a major company like Paramount or Warner Brothers or whatever. It was by, I think, Taurus Entertainment, I believe. And I think they even were the ones that released it on video. They released it theatrically and then on video. Now, the question obviously is that I'm sure anybody has, when they hear about this film, is could we see a remake? Could we see a remake of The Invisible Kid in the future? Like, would anybody want to take on the project of revamping this independent B-level 80s teen comedy film? And honestly, if I'm going to be honest with you guys, I think, yeah. I think somebody would. I mean, we see a lot of people, nowadays taking on a lot of projects, and remaking them for a modern era. They're taking on a lot of, movies, well-renowned and not so well-renowned, and giving them, an update, for the 21st century. And I could see somebody, my honest opinion, I could see somebody doing that for The Invisible Kid. The question is, though, how would it be done? Would it be done in the 2D CGI hybrid style, where it's all animation, and everything, but it feels like it's 2D but done in a CGI style? Or would it be done live action wise, just like the original? That's pretty much a good question to ask. What would they do with it? Or would they go to the traditional 2D? You never know. But it's an interesting question to wonder. And then you got to ask yourself, well, who would they get to play the characters? Who would they get to play the characters? And there's a lot of young actors and actresses that they could go with, to play the roles of the characters. There is. I can't name a lot of them right now, but I know some of them are, pretty much, names that probably wouldn't mind doing it, even if they're names that are being more notable for being on television right now. I could see it happening. I could see it happening if they go that route. But again, there's a lot of options they can go with nowadays. Like I said, they can go the live action route. They can go the 2D CGI route, that hybrid route that, like, let's say movies like Frozen and, Encanto use and all that. Or they can go that, 2D route, if you will, or Toon Boom route, if you will. And it would probably work just as good, if not better, because you can do a lot more. You can do a lot more and everything. But I just wanted to come on here and talk about this real quickly, guys. I also recommend that if you have not checked him out on YouTube, to check out the channel Invisible Women Are My Love. He's basically, this channel basically is very similar to one that Mr. Unknown RIP does. It consists of clips, from scenes, from movies and shows of women becoming invisible, either because they're on a mission or they just want to have fun. Check him out. I think you might get a kick out of the clips and scenes that he's uploaded, from various shows and movies, not just here in the US, but across the world. But anyway, guys, let me know what your thoughts are overall. Let me know if you've seen Invisible Kid from 1988 and what were your thoughts on it originally.